Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. I bet you thought you were going to get out of this week with me not paying you any attention whatsoever. Well, quite frankly, that's not how I roll, and you should know better. Well, actually, if you look at my record, it probably is how I roll. But we're not doing it this week. We are going to get some entertainment on. But before we start, we need to discuss the fantastic people at Steam who, in their summer sale wisdom, have found it within their pockets to allow purchasers of Forged Alliance to get it 75% off. That is a huge reduction. If you're over here in the UK, it's down from £10 to £2.50, which is astonishingly good value. I'm guessing, though I don't know, that if you're in the States, it's probably somewhere near the kind of $4 to $5 range. You can check for yourself, but if you've been thinking about getting it and price was the thing holding you back, I humbly suggest you go out and purchase it now, because that is potentially thousands of hours of entertainment laid on for an incredibly reasonable price. To celebrate, we're going to have a very unusual custom 7 versus 7 on adaptive Twin Rivers. I'm ready, you guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. Ka-ching, ka-ching, and you'll notice that I'm starting this off at -4 because it's Twin Rivers. We don't usually get a huge amount of time before all of the proverbial poo hits the fan, and I've got a lot of players to introduce. So let's start first of all up here. We'll call this Team 1 at the top, and you can see because of the unusual player count here, the side islands are already taken. So this will be Team 1 on this side of the map, and this will be Team 2. Going first for Team 1, rearguard air position up here at the top, we have Pock, and he is going Aeon, how very sensible, in electric blue, opening first air. Next up, after him on the rear plateau, it's Cryax93. He's going UEF in mellow yellow. He's opening first land. And we'll take team member number 3 for Team 1 to be the chappie at the side islands. That's Metal Bruto. And he is going Seraphim in Cyanide Scion, opening first land. To the front row now, we have none other than the infamous Heaven, going Aeon in baby blue, going first and second land. Team member number 5 is a Cannabis, who's chosen Cybrin, bless him, in combat green, and he's opening first land. Team member number 6, did I say 4 before? It's team member number 6 now. It's De Araba, also going Cybrin in regal purple. He's on a cigarette break right now, and he's opened first land. And last but not least, another Cybrin there. It's Morax, who is going burgundy red and opening first and second land as well. So 3 Cybrin, a couple of Aeon, a Seraphim, and a UEF there for Team 1. Let's take a look at Team 2. Rearguard air position. First of all, we have the winner of this week's Guilecast Self-Deprecating Award. It's Dull-Witted in lurid green. He's going Cybrin, opening first land. Next up after him, over here in Volvo Beige, we have Lape, and he is going Seraphim, opening first land. Over to the side island now for team member number 3 in Pontiff White. It's the rather unfortunately named BJ. I'm guessing his name is Billy Joel, and he is going Seraphim, opening first land. To the front row now in Ferrari Red, a customary Cybrin for that colour. It's Mully, and he is opening first land. Next up after him in Vivacious Violet, we have No Fear 555, and he is going UEF, how very sensible, opening first land. After him, goodness me, I'm almost out of breath already, it's Genstad, another UEF, this time in Hallie Orange, opening first land. And last but not least, the infamous Zeljana, who's not really ranking with the Joes anymore, sitting at a whopping, where is he, 1800 in the ranking there, and I think it's fair to say the highest ranking player in the game, so perhaps the chap to look out for here. He's going breast cancer awareness pink, he's going first land, and he's going Seraphim. So for Team 2 we have, what was it, a couple of Seraphim, 3 Cybrin, a couple of UEF there, or I don't know, something like that. I don't know. It seems maybe we've got a few more. Yeah, 1 Seraphim up there. We don't seem to have any Aeon, so all races represented except for Aeon there for Team 2. Game quality is at 92.5% on this one, and we got through the introduction more or less before anything really significant happens. However, you can see that the first initial units are making their way on towards the center of the map there. And what have we got over here? One lab lying in wait by the central reservation for Morax, and a whole bunch of hunters there coming south from Cannabis. Looks like 3 of them just lurking, waiting for a couple of NGs from Team 2 to roll up and try and nick some of that mass and hopefully bag a couple of kills. Morax diving, darting left and right, trying to keep that hunter alive, but he's, I was about to say he's not going to manage it, but he does eventually succumb to some fire there from the strikers of No Fear, but managed to keep that alive through a little bit of cunning micro. Engineer inbound for Mully, desperately trying to scoop up some mass that isn't rightfully his. He's going to run headfirst into a mantis of Morax there. Hangs a quick Louis and makes for home. Some nice zigzagging as he goes. Just like Rickon zigs when he should have zagged. He's going to get out of there thanks to a striker that's going to turn up there for No Fear, along with an extra mantis from Mully, and they will hold the ground, although it's a little bit of a tit-for-tat exchange now as reinforcements come in there from De Araba. Hard to say who's actually going to hold hand. Oh no, we didn't get a proper home command. That T1 NG may have survived for no good reason. Certainly should get to work on some reclaiming and make himself just a little bit useful. And we're so used to, of course, following the initial transports out to see who's going to grab or snag the side islands, but no need for it in this case because they are already well inhabited, and they're well inhabited by some of the lower order players. So they've deliberately stuck the lower end players, or a couple of the lower end players there, I guess, so they're out of the way and face less of a potential threat. Although, I mean, I don't know, if I was Metal Bruto down here, is he sitting on here? Metal Bruto, he's on 1100. I would be very concerned about my proximity to Zeljana, because that's an easy snag really by a competent player. Make a couple of serious drops, take that over, and it's a very defensible place to go. So that would concern me if I was sitting in his shoes. Fortunately, being a caster and not having any time to play, I never am. I can just pass judgment on those who are foolish enough to actually play the game. Isn't it wonderful? It's actually terrible. I do miss the opportunities, miss the chance to play. It's such a wonderful game, but hey, I've got to keep my spirits up somehow. First initial exchanges going well, tit for tat between these two teams. Nothing major in terms of commitment, although we might have the first commitment emerging soon. Zeljana advancing with his ACU now. Pretty clear field ahead of him. A couple of mass extractors in the background there, vacant for him to take. Not a great deal of security around there. A little bit more built up over on the west edge of the central landmass. Lots of wall sections going up for Morax. He wants to narrow the field and funnel any potential threats in towards the center of the map. I don't think he's going to get a chance to complete that. Here comes a wave of mantis from Mully. He will kill off that NG, I'm sure. There it goes. Poor old Bob. And the key to the safety deposit box in his back pocket. Mama will miss that. No wedding rings and everything. No major commitment once again from either side. De Araba rolling forward though with his ACU. And just to potentially save that T1 mass extractor belonging to Morax. Lots of T1 bombers out. This is a big feature, of course, of the latest updates. T1 bombers much, much stronger than they used to be, thanks to adjustments in the way they fly, turning circles or something to do with that, something to do with mechanics. Added a handbrake or something. And, of course, the reduction in HP on a lot of buildings as well. I'm reliably informed, thanks to my guru, Brainfart, who's returned to the community. Welcome back, sir. Fantastic to have you on board. And sorry I didn't pick your replay suggestion. He did actually have quite a good, quite an interesting. What was it? I think it was a canis between Mephi and Crazed Chariot. Wasn't too bad, but another ladder match. We had another Crazed Chariot game not so long ago, so I decided against it. Might hold on to it for a little while. See if I get a gap in castable replays I can slot it into nicely. Lots of upgrades kicking off now on the ACUs. It's getting towards that time of the game. Little T1 Interceptor Ferrari going on that side as well. Almost impossible at this stage to determine who's doing better in the air and actually determine which team is which. But it does seem as though the initiative in terms of airplay seems to be with Team 2. We've got a lot of T1 interceptors there for late, the odd one kicking around as well for BJ from the top left. I think if you're starting either up here or down here, your whole game plan surely is to secure your island from the skies and then dump naval yards down here and try and secure the channel. Isn't that surely the way to go? Try and make a nuisance of yourself amongst the potential corner dwellers up here. Actually no, so that's he's actually belonging to Team 1, so he would want to be attacking Zeljana. Good luck, sir. Enjoy. No fear. Has one triad online on the front there, trying to get a second one up and running as well. It's about 60% complete. Firing off volleys there against, is that Morax or Daraba? It's Daraba, who in turn has got a single Cerberus turret online. It's about to be well and truly outmatched. The second triad comes online. Daraba rolls forward and blocks the incoming fire. Trying to keep his PD alive for a little longer, but that paper-thin Cybran ACU not typically great for that for any sustained period. Already well down into the yellow. Meanwhile, engagement over here between Genstad and Cannabis. A lot of pressure coming from Team 2 east of the central reservation. Heaven holding nicely with 2, soon to be 3 Oblivion turrets and his ACU on the front line. Cannabis staying mobile, going toe-to-toe with Genstad, who has the Zeph amp upgrade on board that UEF ACU, so a little bit scary, but he's unleashed a lot of damage on him already, and Genstad down into the yellow, 6,300 hit points there. Looks like Mully and Nate, who's well forward, and you think he's a rear plateau dweller. He's sent his ACU right to the front line here to give Team 1 some serious hell up front. Mully trying to get some point defense online and break this front line of Morax's, who's taking a lot of fire. He's down to around 8,000 hit points there. Instead, backed up slightly. Meanwhile, east of the reservation, he and Zeljana's forces withdrawing towards Zeljana's comm, who's getting an upgrade there. Lots of conversations going on between the players, but Daraba, oh goodness me, down to 1,200 hit points. Both he and Morax looking very peaky here indeed. Inside 10 minutes, he starts construction of shield gen, and then thinks better of it. Thinks, in fact, I need to back up further. Not surprising. Late moving forward, taking advantage of their weakened condition. Definitely a good idea. You don't want to hang about in dangerous territory when your ACU is dwindling to that kind of level. Heaven continues to erect defenses. He's got quite a solid front line building here. He's throwing in the odd T1 anti-air as well here and there. He's got a little bit of intel. Another T2 PD and another T2 PD there on the way as well. Cannabis though looking very aggressive, potentially going 2v1. Zeljana pretty healthy as well off the back of this. He's got a gun upgrade, he's got the T2 engineering suite, but Cannabis does have support from Pop, who's in the area now as well. He's gone double gun upgrade, so it's an Aeon sniper comm there, lots of range, lots of damage. Genstad, remember, pretty badly damaged from the previous engagement. He's down to around 5,200. In comes a parashield there, but then blinks off. It looks like Genstad might be having power troubles elsewhere, either his base, from whatever it is he is doing. And now it's Zeljana and Genstad who are backing up. Pop is taking a little bit of damage though. He's down to around 7,100. It's real back and forth stuff. east of the central reservation, but No Fear has really rolled forward. He's got a bunch of triads online here, and now he's moved up to T1's side of the central reservation. He's throwing down another triad, and if he can start to get in behind Pop and Cannabis and potentially threaten their main frontline bases up here, this could be a major blow for Team 1's starting chances in this game. Cannabis right up front, trying to brutalize Zeljana's forces as best he can, takes down T1 PD right at the edge of the central landmass there. T2 gunships, the Vulthus meanwhile lock in on Morax's commander, and that's almost completely undefended in terms of anti-air. He's down to around 5,700. Genstad still on around 6,000 meanwhile on the other side of the map. Quick overcharge into the pile for a Cannabis. Zeljana advances, lots of hit points at full health, and he's down below 10,000 now. All very cagey stuff. No one wants to be the first team to lose a commander. And No Fear hasn't pushed his point defense creep in any further. What have we got here? So this is a attack missile battery online there for No Fear, and he's going in after Heaven's mass points. And that one just dropping short, hitting a unit that was about to collide with the mass extractor. Heaven at 1,700, pretty sure that is top-rated player there for Team 1, so if they can cripple him, it's going to hold them in good stead for the later game. Zeljana taking a lot of damage, and on 5,500. Genstad is taking a lot, he's on 3,600, but a Cannabis looking worse in turn now, and is now under pressure from the sky as well. We've got Corsairs in the sky above him. He's into the red, 1,200 hit points, and falling. Lots and lots of T1 and T2 tanks belonging to Genstad surrounding him. This could be an ejection inside 13 minutes, and it is. Oh my goodness, that is terrible for Team 1. A Cannabis bows out from slightly overextending, and it was looking good. It was looking good. He must have been emboldened by the fact that he'd beaten Zeljana and Genstad both down on health. He had relative support in the nearby vicinity from Heaven and Pot's ACUs. He must have been feeling comfortable. He had places to retreat to, but alas, that Corsair barrage took off too much health. Didn't allow him to retreat. The T1 and T2 tanks managed to finish him off. Very nice play there from Team 2. They go ahead inside the first quarter of an hour. Now, what can Team 1 do? They're trying to hit back at range over here to Araba. Viper mobile missile launchers trying to take down the TMDs there. There goes a buzzkill for No Fear. Other potential defenses are under assault now. Lots and lots of assistance being given to that attack missile battery, which has 12 kills already, and I think you can see the evidence of where we're going. They're hitting all the way back here as well. Cryax 93 back on the rear plateau has lost a Mex right on the cliff edge there, and some more Mexes have been taken out sort of in that line. Lots of units and mass storage as well will have gone up as collateral damage in these explosions. This will really be hampering Team 1. Very nice play early on in this one, but I don't think they're going to be holding on to that for too long. That's nice counter play, counter mobile missile launcher fire from De Araba. Might lose a Viper there, but he'll take that. Actually, he might not. That's good awareness of what's going on. Still a little bit of cover from that Zapper, which must be right at the edge of his range there. And finally, as we spoke earlier, what you'd be doing, you would think if you were in the corners, be working on some Navy for the channels to brutalize the central players on the central landmass from the coast. We are getting some naval play en route there from BJ at least, but not the same commitment from Metal Bruto. He's happy to sit back and, well, he's producing lots of T1 inties to assist the air fight, but no toes dipped into the water. But in comes a strap bomber there from Cryax. Where is he going to go with it? Looking for the resourcing option. Hits a T2 core mass extractor there belonging to Dull-Witted. Dull-Witted characteristically doesn't react in time to stop it. I'm sure he's actually very sharp. Takes out another mass extractor, this time on the other side belonging to Late, but he does have lots of inties locked onto that ambassador now. He's going to hang a Louis off map and try and make another run in. That's a lot of fire from those T1 aircraft, and it's all missed, you can see. Pretty much looking pretty healthy. We'll hit another T2 Mex on his way back in, and now looks like he's coming on over the main bases once again. Our missed opportunities. We've got T2 P-Gens, lots of engineers around them. Hits another core Mex, though, in the center belonging to Dull-Witted. He's now down to 40 mass per tick. Should be one of the higher players. The rear plateau players, lots and lots of potential mass, pretty secure location. And has gone. Here he comes, another bomb away. Hits that third core mass, almost all of the core mass. That's a beautiful bombing run here from Cryax. This time he will take a lot of fire, just cutting in front of that wave of T1 inties. Off map again as he hangs another Louis. Surely one more bomb away. No, doesn't manage it, but still very, very cost-effective play on that one ambassador. That should go some way to slowing down the advance of T2. But certainly scary times for Team 1 after the ejection of Cannabis. But this will feel pretty good. There's a line of Gunthers here, static T2 artillery emplacements for Mully, and he's having problems contending with the Viper fire coming across. I'm assuming that's still, actually that's Morax as well, so both Morax and what's his name there, De Araba, engaging in good Viper play. Araba going after some of the flapjacks down here. Shield in front line for Mully, surely about to collapse soon. He has got second backup basic shield there as well. Just got enough TND in there to get to a point where he can start tanking it. Zeljana starts to turn at least a little bit of his attention to Bruto down in the bottom right. No mass drop commitment or anything like that. This is a mere Zooey rage trying to lob some shells up the cliff edge and take down a T2 mass extractor. Some counter Zooey spam comes in there from Bruto and fires a few shells back. It has to be like the single most boring type of engagement you can get in the game. Small groups of T1 artillery trying to kill each other. Absolutely no real world equivalent there to liken it to. That would be a very dull exhibition in real life. But it's effective. There goes a couple of mass extractors on the peninsulas, or the peninsula there. One of the mass extractors actually already been donated over to Heaven. Now we have a small lull in play. We can just roll back and take stock of what's going on here. So Heaven way out in front on 94. Not terribly unexpected, as he's basically sitting on 2 base there. He's cannibalized a Cannabis, his old base. So well set up for the game ahead. And in fact, Cryax must be scooping mass from somewhere. That can't be on 98 again, another player for Team 1. So Cryax and Heaven look like they're both on 98. Which is pretty serious amounts of eco compared to the rest of the field. Everyone else is kind of 70s, 60s, 50s, and 40s. Both those players at the behest of Team 1. Fear getting an upgrade on his commander. Now I predict we're going to see a major drop-off in offensive play here, and the reason for that is the sheer amount of players we've got in this game and just how saturated the game zone is at this point. You send anything here that's not sturdy, experimental lead, with lots of T3, it's only going to get broken on the front lines, just throwing mass to the opponent, essentially. So both of these teams now not looking to pressure, instead looking to tech up, upgrade their commanders, eco, get set up for the late game pressure. A little bit of harassment from the skies, another ambassador from Cryax, not quite as impressive as the previous run. He's now a solid T3 presence in the sky for Team 2, both dull-witted and Lape with an ASF presence now. Let's take a look actually at ASF numbers. So Cryax flying the flag largely for Team 1, 19 ASFs on the field. Lape, he's rocking about 8 or so, and then dull-witted, who's also got a few in the sky, but not many. He's only got about 5, so not a huge amount. And we've got the odd one here, a couple in the sky, it would seem, there from BJ, but otherwise there's not a huge contingent on either side. Maybe a small advantage for Team 1. A lot of swift winds building up here for Pop. Pop and Heaven working together on the front line in front of Heaven's base. This has got to be, again, as we said before, this will be the key for Team 2 if they can brutalize Heaven. Chop him down to size, they will be in good stead. But this is important, this is astonishing to me. No, I know he's 1100, which is about my kind of level, but it would seem sense, right? You, yes, help in the air game, but get some Navy. You get some Navy in here, you get a few cruisers. What race is he? Seraphim, so a few Seraphim cruisers, and start lobbing continual TAC missile pressure over at Zeljana. He's going to be, well, certainly his APM will drop off, or at least not drop off, it will be centered around, more around defending his main base and ease pressure on the front line, allow these guys to make some moves. Hawk taking a little bit of Corsair fire, probing assault really. Corsair attracting a lot of T1 anti-air attention on its way through. Apologies if you can hear children crying in the background. Clink Hammond's not happy about something. I'm sure it's probably lack of UEF players in this match. He always prefers it when it's an all UEF affair. And there we go. So we finally see experimentals hit the field. First one on the map, De Araba, and it's a Monkey Lord. Quickest and the cheapest. Certainly one of the most devastating, making its way with, has to be said, pretty solid gathering right there. We've got lots of anti-air, lots of bangers, and we've got a few Vipers, a few Rhinos to assist as well. So good unit mix on the front line, and there's not a lot to stop its progress. Well, so that was actually a nasty little battery of Triads going up back here, with the odd Percival lingering as well, of no fears, so potentially some danger there. But talking of danger, Mully has his ACU on the front line, and yes, he wants to get some T2 PD online to assist with this defense, but you've got to be so careful. Cyber and ACU ripe for the plucking if that Monkey Lord gets in range. 40 odd kills out from its next rank in veterancy, and it's heading straight for Mully. Finally, looks like he might be turning around and running. And the question is, what can De Araba see? And surely he must have seen it there. Surely he's seen it. Go for the kill, my friends. He's ripe for the plucking. Mully trying to turn tail and head back towards his base. That Monkey Lord down to around 50% of its health. He's got 23,000 hit points left. A few T1 bombs come in, but you shouldn't worry about that too much. Why are you turning? Yes, there's a Percival there and another one coming in, but Mully's commander is right there. I suppose there's Triad fire coming over from over here, but Mully is coming back in. Maybe he's getting excited, think he can finishing it off with an overcharge or something, but I'm sure he could have got a kill there if he'd have just stayed wide and come over here. Oh, I don't know. That's too close to call. He didn't want to sacrifice his Monkey Lord, but I think he could have got there if he could have committed it. It would have been so valuable, so worthwhile taking out Mully there if he could have managed it. We have some Vulthus now locked onto that experimental from BJ. All other aircraft for Team 1 seem to be busy elsewhere. I'm not sure why they're not being brought in to assist as Monkey Lord. Now 3-star, needs a hit points a second, flying back onto that armor, but still you don't want to leave it tanking that fire longer than it has to. Dips into the red now. And finally, air support comes in to mop up these gunships. Take a sweet time. There they go. I think that was a mistake. I think we could have got Mully's commander there. Worst idea since Open Crews changed their name to Starbursts. It's a joke for people over a certain age in Britain. No one else would get that one. Answers on a postcard or in the comment section below if you think I'm talking out of my rear end, which I usually do, let's face it. You think that that was just not on the cards, but I think the potential con kill was sitting there, it was worth a gamble. A couple of trebuchets at the top of the central reservation, softening up the front line there of Genstad. Once again, pressure eases off. So where's he going with that Monkey Lord? He's taking it right back to base now. And a Megalith on the way as well. Throwing up a little bit of shield coverage for his comm while he works the new experimental. Now this is interesting. BJ with cruisers in play, going after the zappers first of all. Zappers just about keeping up with the stream of missiles as they come in. Another cruiser entering the fray. Badly damaged, actually, in the corner over there. What we got over here? Look, Miasma's back there. Up to a T2 P-Gen. But everything for Zeljana now pretty much out of range. So we have this kind of no man's land scenario almost directly across the middle of the map. And we have a Duke under construction, 2,700 hit points of 15,000 complete. Cryax with the second highest eco to build that with, highest being Heaven on 286, Cryax on 202, Hawk on 174, 192 with that spike. We don't know if that's reclaim related or not though. The next highest after that is 179, dull-witted. So really, the big numbers still with Team 1 right now after that amazing start for Team 2. The killing off of the cannabis. Things sliding their way, but this could be a game changer. Zeljana not been put under pressure at all. He's finally got around to working on his own naval push for the stream in the bottom right, the river. T2 Naval Yard online, ready. More build capacity being airlifted in to assist with production. And if he gets a sizable naval contingent together, that will be the end of Bruto and potentially the end of Heaven as well, as that corner's gone. absolutely nothing in the water over here for Team 1, and considering the only presence in the upper river is for Team 2, it's an opportunity they can't afford to miss. They need to get on that ASAP. Morax taking some long-range fire. Not sure where from exactly, whether that's whoever was shooting at it's already been destroyed. Got over here, strategic missile launcher under construction for POC, under shield coverage right at the back, so real standoff play on the way for Team 1. T3 static artillery and nuke. How does that compare with what Team 2 are heading for? Can't see any standoff play in the works at all as yet, and I was about to say I can't see any SMD, but we do have an SMD online. It's working on its first missile now, ways to go, but I'm sure that will be locked and loaded long before a nuke is ready for POC. And Morax trying to counter this cruiser play with a couple of trebuchets, and that seems to be pretty effective. One more shell will see off that one at the top. BJ needs to get his micro on. Definitely going to lose that one, I think. There it goes. It's one of those games, building and building and building. It's been static now for game time, round about 6 or 7 minutes now, something like that, with the exception maybe of that Monkey Lord push. Not exactly how long ago that was. It's going to continue to build and build until both sides have a critical mass, and then it's all going to kick off. Megalith inbound, another experimental for De Araba, and this will present a problem for the front line of Team 2. Mully not sticking around to see what happens there. He's withdrawing, very sensible too, sir. He's getting a Megalith of his own online, but it's a long way to go. 13,000 HP there constructed of 110,000. Megalith will stroll through a few emplacements. We can take a few hit points off there. ASF's tangling above the experimentals. Well, actually not. In fact, that's major air domination for Team 2. Strap bombers ignoring the Megalith, taking out a row of bangers first of all. And that will pave the way for a wave of Volthus coming in from the top left of BJ. Good teamwork there, and they will go to work. Surely that will provoke a response from the air forces there of Cryax and POC. There we go. Who will get the better engage? All very messy in the initial stages. Air forces split. That's not great for Team 1. Come in and mop up some of the Volthus and prevent them from taking extra HP up on the Megalith and then get back involved. I think that's what they've done. Volthus down to 3 now, 2. How has that changed things in the ASF game? Well, actually, that's gone really well, I think, for Team 1. Cryax with a lot of ASF still online, a decent number there for POC as well. A few back here for dull-witted. Those strats we saw taking out the bangers didn't stick around. They came in surgically, did the dirty and withdrew. But that's all provided Mully enough time to get his Megalith online. In fact, that Megalith for De Araba has been persuaded to return all the way back to the main base. So would you look at what's happened in the last few minutes? Heaven, not happy with the naval intervention from Zeljana, has committed pretty significant amounts of resources to getting his own naval production online. 1 T2 naval yard in play, 3 T1s, ways away from getting that first T2 vessel online. Zeljana doesn't like the look of that, however. Cruisers rolling out to intercept, no doubt. A few Zuis trying to cause problems for that 1 T2 shipyard at the bottom. from Metal Bruto. Zildjian lose a few engineers here, I'm pretty sure. Runs out of T1 artillery long before the naval yard goes pop. Restorers out of heaven, tidy up that frigate. Well, the frigate killed a lot of build capacity around that T2 naval yard. Now, where are we with that Duke? That's the question. Well, the Duke is very nearly finished, and this is going to hurt Team 2, no question. That is a major target of opportunity right there, priority target. And in fact, that nuke is nearly complete as well. The nuke is complete, nuke launcher, but the nuke in the silo is nearly complete, approaching 75% cooked. Now two megaliths potentially going toe-to-toe west of the central reservation there. Mully and De Araba. Mully with a healthier looking crab all round, just picking off the odd engineers that come into range. Getting more artillery online. This is the thing that is really worrying, say, for the corner dwellers, is if you lose the river and then get cruisers or battleships stationed off the corner here. So that HQ was destroyed, and it was destroyed by hover tank. I think the Yenzines have come in and finished that off, so that's a setback there for Heaven. He's got lots of T2 naval yards, and they won't be able to produce any T2 vessels. So much going on here. 10 missiles. Attack missile battery there for the Araba. What's he going after? Zui's launching up the cliff edge onto Heaven's base. Taking down the odd structure in Mully's main base there. And look at the impact that Duke is starting to have on the game. Buildings that have been safe all game pretty much right on that rear plateau of T2 now coming under fire. Oh, goodness me. For some reason not getting much way of sound effects there on that. Same for you guys. Wish you haven't got the proper headphones in. Just some horrible little iPod ones because no ones are in the shop. Finally, the last Yenzine succumbs to Zui pressure in the top right-hand corner. We have another upgrade on the way from Heaven. This will surely be the T2 HQ. But a major push now from Zildjian, equipped with Ethota and everything. This is going to be interesting stuff indeed. Heaven doing everything he can to repel this attack. He's got a lot of static defenses. Shield coverage, though, is basic. And there are Othams in here as well, but there's a nuke, and the nuke is going straight after this pack of units. Close nuclear fire support coming out from POC. I'm not sure how effective that is. Well, it's going to tidy up a group of units, but if they carry on moving at the current rate, it's going to miss. It's going to be further in without actually taking out half of them and stuck on the system anyway. That is Ethota just strolling through the base now. There goes the nuke. Towers take out a pretty significant amount of units and takes out a lot of ASFs. I'm not sure who they belong to, whether they were friendly or foe. That megalith we saw earlier from De Araba is redirected to go after the Ethota, and that will prevent it from causing any more damage. But this front base is pretty much gone for Heaven. He still holds on to the core mass -1. but the megalith from Mully has pursued the other megalith. In come the strap bombers we saw earlier from Dull-Witted. They're going to get a volley off that megalith, absorbing huge amounts of damage from the Ion Storm off that Thota. It's down into the red now, 21,000 hit points and falling. And now absorbing fire from the megalith of Mully, and it's going to go down. Gaboom, baby. Mully now has an open doorway to cause all sorts of problems. Heaven's commander is potentially in reach, although that's a lot of Oblivion turrets going up under shield coverage for Heaven, and he's going to have to stroll through that. Mercy fire coming in now as well, taking huge chunks of HP off that megalith, down to 54,000 hit points and falling. We've got Loyalists coming in there from Morax. They're throwing absolutely everything, including the kitchen sink at this guy, trying to knock him out. And his main objective, is, if chat is to be believed, is to try and get in range of that Duke, which is causing so many problems. But there's no chance of that. That is a good, solid effort from Team 1 defending, and a lot of the resourcing options still functional. That might not be the case for long. Another push, the remainder of those units from Zeljana coming in, but Morax is quick to react, dispatching that platoon of Loyalists to intercept. Zeljana disengages. Sensible decision, sir. Back over to the river at the bottom right now, and we already have a T3 Naval HQ online for Heaven. Heaven rocking 305 mass per tick, way out in front of everybody else, of course, sitting on 2 bases, we've said before, and that could cause major problems. And not only that, that T2 naval yard that was online down here for Zeljana earlier has gone. That's good, solid work, I'm guessing, from Bruto, who must have been taking it out with the constant Zui pressure over here, and he's actually working on a distance build down the cliff now on an Ithota. That's about 80% complete. So game developing in not necessarily the way I thought it was going to, it has to be said. Duke still very much functional. That nuke launcher, I don't want to say it was a wasted nuke, but it might have gone to better use if put elsewhere, but he's going to have another shot at it soon enough, unless a snipe is on the cards. Araba saying kill red and white, take out everything in this corner and start chipping away at Team 2 from the edges. What has the Duke been prioritising? You can see the impact it's had on the game, how defensive the rear players have had to be. Another nice shell squeaking through there in the shield coverage, but generally speaking that's pretty comprehensive shield coverage for 36-minute game. They've been forced into that, and it really will have affected their offensive output into the game. Good investment there on the Duke from Cryax. Your mother's a-hole tragedy. That's wow. It's so unpleasant. But anyway, it's coming to cause problems for the fat boy of Zeljana. Heaven trying to run it down. It's going to take a lot of damage from the fat boy in the process. Already lost about 20% of its effective hit points. Actual hit points, as the case may be. Now the first forces for Heaven in that bottom river rolling out. Infinity class cruiser and something big on the way as well. Either a battleship, which should be good on my icons for the naval vessels, or a battleship, or open class battleship, or an aircraft carrier. I think it's the battleship. And that really will cause problems. Park it off the coast down here. Zeljana's going to have all kinds of issues. Here comes Thota to slow up that Colossus. Colossus down into the yellow, 30-odd thousand hit points falling. Lots of loyalists turn up from Morax, doing a huge amount of damage to the Thota, who's going to die first though. The Fatty of the Colossus. There goes the Fatty, and it gifts a ranking vet. The Colossus keeps it alive for a little bit of extra time, allowing it to train its huge visor of death on the Thota. There goes the Colossus with the Thota down to just 22k. And now taking fire from the megalith that's just turned up here from De Araba. That's a fresh experimental that. 2 more hits. There it goes. So another nuke out from Pop, this time going after Mully. Where is Mully? He's over here. He might want to get his skates on, sir. He's trying to get a nuke online of his own. The nuke launcher's operational. The nuke is not. And I'm not seeing any strategic missile defense, so he's not going to get a nuke in that either. Very, very close to his commander. That might be poor parking, sir. You're about to get a ticket. I'll get your skates on. Has no anti on the island. It looks like Mully thought that was going towards BJ. No, it's heading for you, sir, and it's going to take out a few ASFs as well, belonging to dull-witted, potentially. There goes the nuke. Mully survived just outside the blast radius, maybe saved or assisted slightly by the shield coverage as well, but nonetheless, he's lost the nuke launcher. That is painful, and he's lost all of his core mass as well, down to 94 mass per tick. They're the only person in the game now on 2 digits, not 3, in terms of generated mass per tick. So that Ethota we saw under construction earlier from Bruto has been gifted over to Heaven's control. The I forget what they're called, the arm cannons, the arm beam, thin something cannon, not able to cover the cliff there, but the massive generator weapon on the head there, which has a whopping 1600 DPS or something, is able to hit targets just hovering above the land there, and it's going to cause all kinds of problems for Zeljana's main base. Buildings going pop left, right and centre, and if that wasn't bad enough, there's an Omen parked just off the coast as well. At the moment it's going after units, but I'm sure I'll be redirected soon enough. And there we go, another battleship online. They're pouring out now, and this is going from bad to worse for Team 2. It's got to be said, it looked so promising for them when a cannabis went down, but they just didn't eco hard enough, didn't take advantage of that early kill, stayed perhaps a little too aggressive, didn't make those plays count. The rest is history. Team 1 sat back and ecoed and find himself in position rate, but still, 39 minutes gone. We're still yet to see another ejection from the game. It is far from over, and did I read that right? Upgrading laser. So Mully is going for a snipe, a tele-snipe in true Cyberian fashion, and we've seen it oh too many times. That could turn this game on its head, so watch this space. Massive TAC missile barrage though out there. Is that still coming from the Araba? No, that's coming from Morax this time. Huge TAC missile battery under shield coverage, causing all kinds of problems. I've got to admit, I thought that was out of range, and in fact Mully is forced to cancel his upgrade. That does hurt, especially when his economy is in the toilet. See, that would have comfortably killed the commander there. So out he goes, withdrawing out of range. Let's take a look at the kind of range that we have on those TAC missiles. So still in range there. Even withdraw, that's a huge, I must admit, I would have thought he was out of range there as well. I would have made the same mistake. And he starts the upgrade again, upgrading laser, so starting all over again. The previous set of resources were wasted. Fat Boy here, withdrawing in the face of a couple of support commanders from Morax there. Mass T1 bomber span, dropping huge amounts of basic bombs, which even at this stage of the game is pretty effective. Cheap, quick and easy way to dispatch small groups of units causing you problems. Support commanders in the water now for Morax, heading towards the top corner. Torpedo bombers going after the cruisers here from POC. Huge amounts of TMD. Look at what Morax has been forced to do to keep these cruisers at bay from BJ. Tons and tons of tactical missile defense. Fat Boys exchanging fire over here between Cryax and Zeljana. A few Offens trying to squeak through and cause problems up here for Heaven, who's actually managed to get a torrent online. T3 missile ship, one of my favourite units in the game. That's caused all kinds of problems. Massive tack. The amount of tack missiles in this game are extraordinary. Huge tack missile barrages coming in now from Metal Bruto, trying to hit the resources there of Dull-Witted. There are TMDs there in the way. Lots of shield coverage, and in fact a very handy placed mountain to provide the greatest defense of all. Those missiles crash uselessly into the cliff edge. In comes Morax's support commander and gets to work on T1 PD. It's about the most annoying thing you could possibly do, short of hacking into someone's VoIP and just going down the line of them while they're trying to play. That's the most annoying thing to do. But this one's right up there. What are they going after, though? Essential. If we can take down that T3 power plant, that would be pretty handy. It's a while to chew through all the hit points on the shields. Several shields, so effective. Fat Boy's still exchanging fire in the center. Look at what's going on to Zelshar's base. It's in literal pieces. He has one core mass left, one T3 mass. It's dropped right down. Zeljana now, power related of course, is producing just 21 mass per tick. Majorly power locked and basically muted out of this game. And that's their top player right there. I think looking very, very bad indeed for Team 2. Morax has taken down the shield coverage, hasn't killed the generator, completed the shield, but has run out of T1 PD. But I think he's going to be able to grab that T3 power plant. Clever if he managed it. Looks like there's enough to say that. Yeah, there's dudes on the ground that are going after it. Finish it off. T3 plant should survive. Strap bombers for Dull-Witted, trying to get a solution on something, but they're going to be mopped up by huge quantities of Cryax's ASFs now that he's managed to amass. Huge tactical batteries up front as well there for Genstad, going after Da'Araba's comm. Da'Araba nearly has a Scathis online. Where is that headed? In fact, did kill that T3 power plant. Well done to him, so that hasn't caused as much damage as I thought. Most of them hit the shields. How many are left by the time they get to the commander? Absolutely none. Kills a shield gen though. Scathis should complete though. Needs to get himself some more shield coverage ASAP. So the laser is complete. Mully now presumably working on the teleporter. He's begging his allies for energy, and they are trying to give it to him as quickly as they can, but he's got a long way to go. Very, very hungry process indeed, getting the tele-snipe together. And of course that Duke is still raining hell down on the rear plateau. Three mechs looking peaky now at the back as that takes another shell to the face. And they're about to get their own counter weapon there, a disruptor nearly complete right at the cliff edge there for Dull-Witted. Oh my goodness, but a tac missile snipe on the commander that was going for the tele-snipe. Oh man, who was that? It was, it must have been coming, it must have been Morax that grabs the snipe, and that was the key that I was looking for Team 2 to get back in this. Surely now, that is it. A loyalist hugging the comm, doesn't understand why those tac missiles weren't repelled. Well, maybe some of them were, but I don't think they can repel a massive, massive volley like that. But, you know, answer in the comment section below if you think I'm full of it on that one. Always welcome harsh and honest criticism. It's not too personal. About my base, please. Support commander goes pop, and BJ succumbs to Scathis. De'Araba completes the Scathis, and oh, what a shame, a desync right at the end, but Genstab bows out, and it is literally a case now of players giving up, and Control K's going off all over the shop. No Fear kills himself, Genstab Control K's. That is the end of the game, surely. Look at the amount of Omen-class battleships that Heaven has parked off the coast of Zel'Janazor base. There goes Late, not even sure where his commander is. He will be following on 44, pretty much 45 minutes, and that will be a done game, I'm sure. Just waiting. There goes Late. It's just Zel'Jana now, and dull-witted that remain. Don't fancy hanging around in all of that. I don't blame them, quite frankly. That was their last shot, really, was for Mully to get a snipe right at the end. That was their only real chance at drawing it out or going for a win. I think we can afford to bump this up a notch, because it's just a matter of time now. Zel'Jana is an effect of the desync. There he is. No, Zel'Jana quits out. Inevitable conversation about the game ensues in local chat. He did manage to get his disruptor online there. Dull-witted. Certainly wasn't dull-witted overall. Everybody played a pretty solid game in this one. Name mod in full flow there. There's dull-witted's ACU. We've got Bilbo, we've got Aragorn. In comes the Restorers going straight after the SMD, and the nuke is launched. Oh, the shield blinks up in the worst possible time. A mercy snipe though should deplete the shield. There goes the SMD. The nuke will connect, and if dull-witted doesn't move his commander, he is done. Morax disappointed that they're going to finish the game now. I can honestly tell you that my viewers won't be, because that would be drawing it out needlessly. Especially since we've already had a desync, and we can't actually be sure that any of this really happened post the desync the way we're seeing it now. That's going to go down and knock him out. Kaboom! Dull-witted ejected at 46 minutes and 36 seconds. And a strong, confident win for everybody on Team 1. Only one player not involved at the end for them. A Cannabis, of course, dropping out early, but otherwise a very interesting game. 7v7's unusual, but I think you'll agree, well worth it. Well, if you were thinking about getting it and you weren't sure, I hope this has convinced you guys. Remember, 75% off on Steam, a great time to go out and buy. Why not pick it up and come and join us and see what this FAF thing is all about? There are people of all levels, all standards, and it's, on the whole, a pretty darn welcoming community. Don't believe what they say. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. There's always more to come from me in the future. Don't forget, you can support me on Patreon if you feel so inclined. Do like and subscribe, because it helps me and, by extension, the community. But until next time, guys, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.